And we're back. A little shout out to Ben Affleck and Jimmy Fallon's skit there about the radio station. Anyways, yesterday we had some technical difficulties. We want to finish the episode this week, talking everything baseball. We got a few more segments. I'm coming actually from my girlfriend's place in Andover, Mass. So I've crossed over the border. Hopefully the police don't come and get me because of COVID. But yeah, how's everybody doing tonight? Are we doing good? Good to be back. Sorry about last night, guys.
It's all good, man. It happens. It happens. I'm doing good.
All right, a couple things I want to get into. First, what we had on the agenda, we kind of were talking about. We didn't really get into predictions. I guess I do want to do that first. Do you guys have any predictions? Who do you think is taking the World Series this year? Mo, we can start with you.
Well, we already have a lot of people down here saying the Phillies are going to go 162-0. So, I actually have pretty high hopes for that. But, every year it seems like they talk about the Yankees and Dodgers as of late, especially since they won last year. It's interesting, though. I don't really see them winning off of a 162-game season. So I'm not really sure. I haven't really watched a lot of the spring training games, Phillies included, because a lot of it was during work. So, I tried to sneak a few here or there, but honestly, I can't say it. I just hope that they finish a full season and there is, playoffs like there was last year, and they can continue to have fans. But I'm just excited in general, and regardless of who I think will win, the World Series, I just hope that it's just a lot of fun for each of our teams and our fans, and hoping for the best.
Fair enough. Justin, how about you?
I'm biased, bro. I'm going to say the Sox. I'm going to say my boys. I'm going to say the Red Sox. But honestly, sports is so crazy nowadays. You never know who's going to be in the playoffs. You never know who's going to win it all. I mean, remember a couple of years ago, the Astros were on fire. Whoever would have thought the Astros were going to, win all these pennants, win all the, these World Series, go, to the playoffs multiple times. So, never in a million years, in 2008, what I guess the Astros are gonna, be one of the hottest teams in baseball. But a lot of people say too, the Yankees. But thank God there's no Yankee fans on here. If there's Yankee fans watching, y'all suck. I hate the Yankees. So I would never say I would never say the Yankees, because I am a Red Sox fan, and we are it's in the rule book. You have to hate the Yankees. So Dan, I think you agree with me there.
Oh, no doubt.
But yeah, I'm gonna say the Sox. I'm gonna say the Red Sox. I'm always gonna say my boys.
And Anthony Amato was our Yankee fan that was supposed to be on the show. Anthony had other things, I guess, going on. But Nick, who you got winning this year?
Man, I always say the Cubs are going all the way. Much like a Justin, I'm going to come with a dark horse here, though. I truly believe, and I think if they can figure it out, the Chicago White Sox are going to win the 2021 World Series. That lineup is sneaky good. They're young with good veteran, a presence, and that bullpen and that starting five it's one of the scariest, I think, in all of baseball. I really hope that they don't, though, because I hate Tony La Russa. I hate that man for years. He just made my life miserable with the Cardinals. But I think as a dark horse, the Chicago White Sox could win the World Series.
I like that. I like that pick. I still think the Dodgers are the team to beat. And I know the Dodgers have trolled us here in Boston a little bit by saying thank you for Mookie Betts. And I will admit that I was one to say, let Mookie go. Let him go. We can't pay him all. But you know what? And a lot of people have said we could have paid him. And he should have been a Red Sox probably for the rest of his career. So I'm pulling for him. I'm with Justin. I hope the Red Sox do it. The first couple games did not seem too well for us. But the other night they looked pretty good, so we'll see. I mean, it's definitely gonna be fun though, because fans are back.
Yes.
Because last year was just kind of like, it was kind of miserable. You need fans for sports for sure. But I want to get into a couple other things. Now, as baseball fans, and this might just be me, I love baseball movies. I love them. Absolutely love them. Enjoy everyone pretty much everyone I've seen, just because you feel the game and everything. What are some of your favorite baseball movies? All right, Justin, we'll start with you. Here.
I have so many, bro. So many. Moneyball, The Sandlot, Angels in the Outfield, Field of Dreams, Mickey. Dan, that was the movie I was telling you about. If you guys never saw Mickey, I highly recommend it. It's not about Mickey Mantle, just in case y'all are wondering. It's just Mickey. Oh my God. Sandlot, obviously. You know, like if you're a baseball fan and you don't like the Sandlot, then what the hell is wrong with you? Like that's like the oldest movie of all time. Like you gotta like the Sandlot. Those are like the top ones that I can name off the top of my head. I'll probably remember more when you guys start naming them. But yeah, those are my top favorite ones right there.
And what I could say about the Sandlot, like growing up as a kid, we didn't have a Sandlot, but we played like tennis baseball in the street. Yep. You take your bats from Little League, or Bambino at the time, and we just play tennis baseball with bats in the street. So that was kind of like our Sandlot, even though we were playing on regular teams too. Nick, what are some of your favorites?
Like Justin said, The Sandlot. Angels in the Outfield, Field of Dreams. I really love Eight Men Out. I think it's a really underrated baseball movie. And then I love 61, the story of Roger Maris and Mickey Mantle. I think that those really round out my top five. But I really if it's about baseball, I'm in.
All right.
Yeah, I got to give it to Thomas Jane and Barry Pepper. I want to say they actually looked like Mantle and Maris in that movie.
Yeah,
it was pretty ridiculous.
It was a good movie, and I feel like that's another movie that goes under like the radar. It's not too popular. Like not too many other than diehard baseball and Yankee fans really know about it, but it's a damn good movie.
And I gotta say, I saw it the night it came out because it was an HBO movie, and I remember in 2001 watching that, and it was 4 years after McGuire and Sosa, and I don't know about but you guys, maybe me and Mo remember a little bit more. I'm sure Nick, you guys probably remember a little bit, but I was in 7th grade watching the chase of Sosa and McGuire. And it brought the fans back to baseball because after the 94 strike, people were pissed off.
Yeah.
So it's just good to see kind of a chase again in the clips of McGuire talking about how he felt, Maris holding that bat. Mo, what are your favorites?
I did write down 5, but I had like a close 6th too. But I feel like the first one, and mainly what probably helped me fall in love with baseball, was A League of Their Own. I know
that one.
There's no crying in baseball.
Yeah.
I really thought that was like they picked some, women athletes in that, and they showed some, great athleticism and whatnot, and just showed like how the country, even though it was a small league, came together during World War II and helped still have baseball, even though most of the players went, overseas to serve in the war. But it's also a great storyline. A lot of good actors in there. Madonna's in it. Tom Hanks, and there's a lot that Rosie O'Donnell. I mean, there's a lot that's off the top of my head, but it's just such a great movie and a good storyline too. And then I wrote down A Natural. My dad's a lefty, and I think that was a family movie where it was just like, I feel like left-handed hitters just have such a pretty swing, and again, good storyline, and If I recall, I feel like he was getting older and they didn't really want to sign him or something, and he had to like.
I think he was out
like
of the game. Yeah, he was definitely out of the game, I believe, in that movie. Robert Redford's character.
Yeah, I love that movie. I had The Sandlot written down too. I remember when I was younger being in my grandparents' backyard and reenacting the Benny Rodriguez Steal from Home.
Yeah,
and
legit.
sliding in or the time you slid to get the ball from the huge dog. Like I remember doing that. And I had Moneyball, Field of Dreams, and then I like Bull Durham too, but I think more so because it's like a comedy. And there's some serious stuff in there, but I really think it's a lot of joking around and whatnot. There's another movie. I don't know if it's called something about the curve. It came out like recently. I don't know what.
It's Trouble with the Curve with Justin Timberlake, isn't it?
That was a good movie. Yep.
With Clint Eastwood.
Eastwood, yeah.
So good.
It's a pretty good one, but there's so many others that I just wrote those ones down because I feel like you just remember them and they have like a tie to you. But yeah. I mean, any baseball movie throw it on and I'm there.
Game, we can't hear you. Uh-oh.
Oh no, not again.
We can't hear you. Are you on mute?
Learning StreamYard. Apparently, I was on mute. I had to pull my headphones out for a second. I didn't know that I'm actually put you on mute. My favorite is Bull Durham, without a question. I think Kevin Costner is the GOAT of baseball movies.
Yeah.
Because he also did Field of Dreams. What was the other? Love of the Game. He's definitely like the number one guy when it comes to baseball movies. I'd also throw out that one. I don't know. Did we mention Angels in the Outfield?
Yep.
Okay. Yep. That was one of my favorites. But Field of Dreams, I will say this. If you don't get choked up when he asks his dad to have a catch, like I don't think you have a soul. Like you must not have a soul or have no feelings in your body whatsoever, because every time I see that scene, it's like it takes you back to the first time maybe you played catch with your own father. Mm-hmm. It's just unbelievable movie.
Honorable mention here. I want to throw in Rookie of the Year.
Yes,
with Henry Rowan Gardner. Yeah. I love that movie because I love when he comes out and the coach he can't say his name. He's like a Rosenbagger or Rosenhauser. He's saying all these different names and he's like, "You're in, kid," and I'm like, "That's pretty cool." Also because I'm a Cubs fan, so it's cool to see all that. But it's another one that I forgot about.
I was gonna say Rookie of the Year. I was also gonna say Major League.
Yeah. How can you forget about Major League?
Wow. Thank you, Justin. You just saved the show. Because I could only imagine what people would say if we didn't mention Major League.
Major League, Rookie of the Year. I love that movie.
I will tell you, though, I think I only like the original Major League. I don't think I like Major League 2. I think that should have been like a one and done.
Right.
I didn't mind it, but Major League 3 was a pile of shit.
That was bad.
What's the movie I'm forgetting? It was at Little Big League where the kid
where he is grandpa. He bought out the Minnesota Twins.
Yeah,
I love that one.
Yeah, that's a big one. Was anybody a fan? Like, I'm not a big fan of the Bad News Bears, and it's probably just because I just never really got that into it.
I like the Bad News Bears. I mean, I love I wasn't alive when the original came out. I was like in 5th grade when the one with Billy Bob Thornton came out. So I always thought it was pretty. That and what on Benchwarmers? How can you forget about Benchwarmers?
Oh yeah,
Benchwarmers.
I guess the one I'm also not saying is the Red Sox movie, which I will say this.
Fever Pitch with Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah, totally. Now this is going to be unpopular. This is going to be an unpopular thing for a Red Sox fan to say.
If you hate it, I'm leaving.
I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it, but I don't put it up as like a classic. And my other issue is I understand it's acting. I totally understand it's acting. But Jimmy Fallon is a Yankees fan, and
I
he's the lead
didn't-
actor.
I did know that.
I didn't.
Yeah,
What?
I don't think he is.
he's he's a what?
He's done other. Are you talking about Jimmy Fallon?
Yeah, he's from upstate New York.
Yeah, but if you see his SNL, he's always in Red Sox gear.
No,
And
he
always
is.
doing the Boston accent in them.
He's a Yankees fan?
I didn't know. I don't know. You should look at that.
All right, so if this is slander, Jimmy Fallon's not a Red Sox fan. I know that, and I think he had.
But think about it though. He works in New York. So
Well,
I mean,
and
he's probably going to do some business with the Yankees. But I don't know. I think you should look at that. I think you should do some research. I don't think he would do the movie if he was.
He fooled me. He fooled me. He played one hell of a Red Sox fan.
Yeah, he did.
I mean,
holy shit.
He was the master of doing the Boston stuff on SNL. There's no doubt about that. But to my knowledge, and we will have to fact check us on this. To my knowledge, I've seen Jimmy Fallon in Yankees gear. If anything, if he's not a Yankees fan, he's a Mets fan.
Which is worse.
He's a New York guy. He's a New York guy.
That I could deal with. The Yankees?
I don't know.
No.
To my knowledge, but he did master the Boston character.
I have confirmation that Jimmy Fallon is a Yankees fan.
Thank you.
That is so.
From who?
I stand corrected, but I
from an ESPN real life interview that he's not a major sports fan, but he's a Mets or like a Yankees guy. He roots for I'm like either one.
Knew it. I knew it. So my problem.
Never watching Fever Pitch again.
I freaking love the Farrelly brothers. Don't get me wrong, I do. They've always included Boston athletes in their movies. But casting Jimmy Fallon to be a Red Sox fan is blasphemy. And I love Jimmy Fallon, but maybe, I know Ben Affleck couldn't have been as funny. I mean, for sure.
Hell no. No.
But I will say I don't love that movie. I'll be honest.
My whole life's a lie. My whole life's a lie.
It should have been a Marky Mark.
Mark would have been fine. Mark Rober would have been hilarious.
That man,
he's a Red Sox fan, right?
Yeah. Well, he's from Dorchester. I would hope he's a Red Sox fan.
I'll say this. I was actually there in 2004, right before the Red Sox won the World Series. I went to an Orioles-Red Sox game, and they were doing filming of it. And I think they had Drew Barrymore's stunt double or whatever.
You were there for that?
I was, yeah. I mean, I don't think this was like a major filming of it, but they actually did film something where she's running across the field. Was that the actual Drew Barrymore footage? That I can't confirm. I don't know. But I was definitely there when they're filming something.
I thought you were there. I thought you were going to say you were there when she got hit in the head with the foul ball.
No, it was definitely when she was on the field. My guess is they were filming this like every night to get the shot right.
Right.
Because how do you got to have fans in there to film that? Are you going to pay for that many standalones? Probably not.
Extras, no.
Yeah,
I thought you were because wasn't that part where she ran on the field? That was on the game 3 or game 4 of the ALCS.
Yes,
Yankees, right?
But they had to redo that footage because they didn't know the Red Sox were going to win the World Series.
Oh,
so they had already filmed that. They had filmed the movie, and then the Red Sox won, and then they redid the movie, which again, another issue I have a problem with. But I guess 86 years of no World Series, I guess that's all you can really do. I don't know. But
that's crazy. That's interesting to know.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, the Farrelly. Yeah, no, I mean, because I'll be honest, I was 20 years old in 2004, so I was old enough to know what was going on. They filmed it first, and then they rewrote it, the ending, because of the Red Sox winning.
See, I didn't know all that. I knew about the movie Fever Pitch, but I didn't know about the movie. I was 10 when the Red Sox won the World Series in 2004, but I didn't know about that movie.
Yeah, no, great movie.
Imagine if that movie would have came out before they won the World, like the series. Like how awful would that movie have been if it would have came out prematurely?
Right.
Well,
No, it would have been terrible.
That movie would have been more true to my childhood.
Well,
to be
that's
honest, because I'll tell you what, until at 20, you're an adult, but most of the years growing up, I mean, if I saw someone with a Yankees hat, I wanted to fight them. And then when we won, it was like
Game on.
I'll tell you one thing about just being like a New England sports fan is because a lot of people talk about like, oh, the Patriots are so good, the Red Sox, they've all won all these. When I was a kid, trust me, it was not like that at all. We were the losers. We always lost, So this like stuff in adulthood of winning was like, yeah, my childhood did not reflect that at all.
Yeah. Hey Dan, I have a question. I don't mean to interrupt your show. Is there any way you get rid of this comment right here, the banner on the bottom?
What's it saying?
I just have I have a banner right here that says StreamYard. It's not showing up in your end.
I don't see it, but let me see.
I got it on my end.
Still there?
You got it. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
We're still learning StreamYard. All right, couple things. One more thing I want to talk about before we get into blank versus blank, because this is a highly debated topic. It's a lot of issues that, again, when we talk about when we were younger about players that we loved, especially me, Bud Selig turned a blind eye to the steroids that were going on in baseball. So I want to know, who do you guys think, without question, steroids or no steroids, should be in the Hall of Fame? And Mo, I want to start with you.
Yeah. So, I mean, my number one who should be in the Hall of Fame is Pete Rose, because, he didn't do steroids, but he gambled, and he gambled on his team winning, which doesn't make any sense because it's not like he was betting on his team to throw games. And if you have guys if you're going to allow guys to be in who are part of the steroid era, then you should let him in too. But, I mean, this is going to be an unpopular opinion, but I think A-Rod's going to get in. I think he's going to get in because he admitted it, and he admitted it before going through all the, the court nonsense and all that. I think I'm pretty sure this is my rule of thumb. If you admitted it, I think you should get in. And if the commissioner knew this was going on, still let it happen anyway, knew it was going to, bolster the sport, then how do you say no to that? But I feel like if you're like kind of a D-bag and you're going to continue to lie about it, and there's like proof that you did it, who's to say the only reason why you were successful was because of steroids? So it's hard to say, especially because there's people who were able to get in without doing it. So I think the rule of thumb is if you admitted it and there's proof that you did it and you admitted it, then you should be allowed in.
I will say this. I want Pete Rose in, and I don't want to disagree with you, but here's why Pete Rose will not be in. He was betting on baseball. Someone got a train in their yard right now?
Yeah, it's right next door. There's nothing I can do about it.
No worries. Pete bet on baseball when he was the manager of a team. And here's my issue. And I want Pete Rose in too. I have multiple Pete Rose jerseys, but here's why he's not going to be. As the manager of a baseball team, you really can make decisions, right, that could impact that game. Not just throwing it, but you could say, well, I'm not going to pitch this guy tonight. I'm not going to bring this person for reliever. I'm not going to pinch hit this guy. There's all types of stuff you can do. My issue with Pete Rose is you can't tell me that he thought his team was going to win 162 games in 0. There had to be nights where he knew the Reds were going to lose.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's probably unpopular. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean, if you take away what Pete Rose did as a manager and you only look at him as a player, he's got to go in. He's the all-time, like a hit king, and he did it, like clean way. I think, as we see sports, gambling becoming more of a normalcy with the industry, people might start to say, you know what, it is what it is. I mean, what was it? 30 years ago.
Right.
I mean, I don't necessarily know if a man who, like again, all time, like a hit king. I don't know if a man, who did, that more than 30 years ago deserves to, still be left out. But I certainly understand, and Dan, I agree with you. I don't think he's ever going to get in. I want him to. I don't think he ever will.
Yeah.
I will say though that with the steroid era guys, you know what? Yeah, you cheated, but Dan, you and I have talked about this multiple times. Those guys were the guys that brought the newer generation into baseball, because after the strike and the lockdown, people didn't want to watch baseball. People didn't care. People were angry, and then you got guys like McGuire, Sosa, Bonds, Clemens, Canseco, Palmeiro. I go on and on.
Right.
Those guys, and what they did and how they impacted and pretty much saved the game of baseball. I think they deserve to be in on that precedent, like alone. But
I agree, and they turned a blind eye because they knew it was bringing the fans back.
Right,
they totally knew that.
If MLB would have nipped it in the butt right away and said, I'm like, no, we're not doing this. You're not going to do it. Different story. Major League Baseball had have known for years on end, but it didn't care because they were putting money in their pockets.
Well, the managers that knew that was happening, they're in the Hall of Fame.
Exactly.
A guy like Tony La Russa, Bobby Cox.
Right.
Again, managers that I love, they knew it was happening.
And, teammates that knew, like a Derek Jeter knew, I mean, all these guys in the Hall of Fame knew that their teammates were, up to something, whether they wanted, admit it or not. And, they turned a blind eye.
And like they say, chicks dig the long ball.
That's right.
So they're bringing them back. And at the end of the day, like I feel like if they didn't run Jose Canseco out of the league, this never would have happened. Because I remember he took the interview on ESPN and he said, "I'm naming everybody," and then he wrote the book Juiced, and it all came out.
Yep.
Justin, who do you want in the Hall that's not there?
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. So I'm a big baseball guy, but I don't know a lot of people who are not in the Hall of Fame. So I'm just gonna go based off what you guys said. No, so sorry. I did do my research. I wish I did my research today. I'm sorry.
No worries.
I definitely think at least the top 5 have got to be Bonds, McGuire, Slam and Sammy, Roger Clemens, and probably Jose. I think regardless of cheating, what those 5 individuals did for like the game post the strike, I think they think it outweighs like the cheating.
Barry Bonds isn't in the Hall of Fame.
No. Barry Bonds is not in the Hall of Fame because he did steroids and he pissed people off.
Yeah, he made people mad.
I will tell you
Barry
this.
Bonds was in the Hall of Fame. I was gonna say Barry Bonds, but I didn't want to sound stupid.
No, Barry Bonds
made a lot of people mad.
Barry Bonds, he did. I mean, okay, so this is what happened with Barry Bonds. You have 1998 where Sammy Sosa and Mark McGuire smash a record that hadn't been broken since 1961. They smashed the record. And Barry Bonds goes, "Yeah, I'm better than you guys. I'm a better hitter." And in 2002, I mean, early 2000s, Barry Bonds just got freaking jacked.
Yeah.
And like he was already like an amazing hitter. And I remember at the time going like, oh yeah, as you get older, like you get thicker. Now that I'm like pushing 40, I'm like, oh, maybe that wasn't true. But like, and it all came out. He was in the Balco report, and Barry Bonds has been on the ballot for a couple of years. I think Barry Bonds was already a Hall of Famer before he did steroids. I think he only did them. I think he only did them because he knew McGuire and Sosa did him, and he was like, I'm better. I'm better than you two. And now I'm going to do it and see how many home runs I hit. And what did he hit? What, he hit 72 in a season? Was that the record?
It was either 72 or 73. One of the two.
It was insane. It got to the point pitchers were walking him with the bases loaded.
Yep.
That's insanity.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
They rather give up one. Hey, I guess 1 run is better than 4.
Yeah.
No, but like, he I know he holds the home run record still, right?
Yeah.
And how many is it? Was it 756?
762, I believe.
762.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people still say rest in peace, Hank Aaron, that he's still the guy, but it is
I'm
Bonds.
one of those.
I'm very torn. I'd say Bonds and Clemens are the two guys that should be in the Hall that were under investigation that were not. Mark McGuire was one of my favorite players growing up.
No surprise Sammy Sosa isn't in it.
Yeah, but Sosa also, you got to understand, like his career was dwindling when he started roiding up.
Yeah,
right.
Like Sammy Sosa, he's not one of my. I loved watching Sammy Sosa, but not only did he do steroids, he had the corked bat.
I was at that game.
Oh, were you really?
I was, playing the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. I was in the bleachers, and he hit like a ground ball out, and the inning is over, and the Cubs are on, and the infield, and the umpires are looking around, and I was maybe like, I don't know, 9 or 10. I was so confused, and then all of a sudden, the PA comes on and said, he goes, replacing Sosa was some other guy, and then the next morning you see in the newspaper the cork bat issue,
which that had been a long time. And Sosa's, and again, like Sammy Sosa went in front of Congress and then all of a sudden didn't know how to speak English. Yep. When the corked bat happened, he said, oh, I just used that for batting practice to give the fans more balls to hit home runs with. I mean, again, I loved Sammy Sosa. I loved Mark McGuire. I will always be thankful for what they did for baseball in that time. But Sosa, I'm on the fence on him being a Hall of Famer. Again, and I love Mark McGuire too. I'm on the fence with him. I mean, they definitely, without steroids.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't McGuire lie in front of Congress too, or was that Palmeiro?
Palmeiro was
Palmeiro, wasn't it?
Palmeiro was the one that looked the dumbest.
Yeah,
because he looked right at them and said, "I did not use steroids."
Yeah,
and then guess who gets popped in the 2005 season? Rafael Palmeiro.
Yeah, I remember that.
Wasn't he the first baseman for Baltimore?
Yeah.
I've heard him. I heard it.
He played on a lot of teams. He had 3,000 hits. Rafael Palmeiro was a great baseball player.
Yeah, he was.
I haven't heard his name in years. I haven't heard that name in years.
Yeah, well, he blew it. He blew it big, and he definitely lied in front of Congress. All right, let's get into blank versus blank. We'll wrap this up a little bit. I got some good ones for you guys. Since we just talked about this, and I think this is going to be a heated debate, but if only one can get in the Hall of Fame, is it Pete Rose or Barry Bonds? Mo, start us off.
I mean, it's easy for me. I would say Pete Rose, because I wanted to bring this up when you guys were talking about Bonds. I mean, think about Roger Maris's family and going through being at each game where there's like a home run and beating records for the season. And then all of a sudden you were told later that these guys use things to help them get to that record. And I just kind of feel for them more than I feel for someone making money off of games they won, because they make it anyway by playing. And I think Pete Rose was a player manager, right, when that was all going on. So it was like he had to play on those games he was in. So I know what you're saying about the disagreeing thing. I just don't think it's as bad, because he, like, Nick was saying, he did it all without using anything to enhance his abilities. So,
well, yeah, his numbers are not inflated. Just for the record, I'm not accusing that of Pete Rose at all.
yeah.
All right, good pick. Nick, who you got?
Pete Rose, hands down.
Justin, who are you going with?
Bonds.
I like it. I want them both. All right.
I didn't know we could pick both.
Well, I'm the host. I make the rules, so I can say that.
I would have asked.
The power of having that host of Let Freedom Ring on your title,
Yeah, it's pretty powerful feeling, right?
Yeah.
The host of your own show.
I'm used to it on Nerds of Wrestling where I don't have the power of that.
Yeah, oh yeah.
All right.
I am pretty fair with the rules, though.
Very, very. All right, better World Series champion. I got two of these in a row. 2001 Diamondbacks or 2000 Yankees. And we'll start with Justin on this one.
I'm biased. I'm just gonna go with the Diamondbacks.
It was pretty amazing when Luis Gonzalez got that hit. I don't.
Screw the Yankees, man.
Nick, what do you think?
Man, I don't know. I think I'm gonna go with the 2001 Diamondbacks, only because that's the only year that the Diamondbacks have won the World Series since 2000. That was the 2000. Like the Yankees was pretty much their start of like the dynasty, and just how the 2001 Diamondbacks were able to pull it all get it together. They really only had just Johnson and Schilling. You know what I mean? And that Luis Gonzalez walk off. I've watched it now years later when when I was older, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and the Schilling and Johnson on the same team. Mo, what do you think?
I want to say 2000 Yankees, but the reason why I won't is because they had already won a few during that time, and it was kind of due to crowning up a new champion. And I mean, really, what have the Diamondbacks been since then? So
Nothing.
I would say the 2001 Diamondbacks. The thing I feel for the Yankees, though, is that I really feel like it would have been good for the city to have some type of happiness during that time. Because
after 9/11.
They were, I mean, I can't imagine. It was already somber where we were. We weren't even near New York. And I can't imagine what it was like for the people in the city, outside the city. And, probably gave them some type of hope that hopefully things can become normal. I mean, talk about living in a time now where it's kind of similar. And, everyone's dealing with it. So there's that connection. But, I mean, in a way, I wish it would have helped, I feel like, a lot of people in that area to have them win. But they had, like I said, they had won a few years. So I guess I'll go Diamondbacks.
And totally agree. And I'm not a New York person, but the year before was the Subway Series. And that was kind of fun. I'd say the highlight of that whole series was Roger Clemens throwing a broken
Mike Piazza.
Yep. Mike Piazza.
He just slanging at him for no reason.
I couldn't believe he did that. Mike Piazza's bat broke, and Roger Clemens picked it up and threw it at him.
He had some like a roid rage, and he got mad at him.
It's similar to if you guys remember when A-Rod smacked Bronson Arroyo's glove away from him.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe he did that.
I couldn't believe that Pedro knocked down Don Zimmer. Old man Don Zimmer just getting thrown to the ground by Pedro Martinez.
Well, I'll defend Pedro. I actually hang that up in I've shown Justin this. That hangs in my room because I think Don Zimmer, R.I.P., he ran at Pedro and started throwing fists first.
Yeah.
All right. Let's just talk about this one team. We got the Miami Marlins, formerly the Florida Marlins, who have somehow been existent since, I believe, 1993, yet have 2 World Series championships. You got to pick one. The 1997 Marlins or the 2003 Florida I think they both were the Florida Marlins at that point. Now they're the
Dan,
Miami
you can't do
Marlins.
this to me, Dan. You can't do this to me.
These are two crazy teams. These are two crazy teams. One went to a Game 7, one didn't.
2003 still gives me flashbacks.
That's true. That because
I can't do it.
As a Cubs fan, the Steve Bartman issue, which Steve Bartman has now been, I think, forgiven by Cubs Nation. I hope.
Yes.
It's like 50-50.
Because Moises Alou looked like he wanted to rip his throat out that night.
Yeah, it's like 50-50, but Steve Bartman is still in the witness protection program.
Is he?
Yeah, down in like Alabama, I'm pretty sure.
Let him throw the first pitch at some point.
Didn't the Cubs like contact him saying, "Hey, we want you to throw the first pitch at the game"? And he said no.
They might have, but if they did, it was either last year or this year, because for a long time it was bad.
No, I agree.
And I don't blame Steve Bartman anymore. I blame the Cubs, but it's just as a 9-year-old, I'm sitting there and I'm like, yes, the Cubs are going to the World Series. We were 5 outs away, and then God, I see Steve Bartman.
I got I want to say something really quick. I know about that whole story, the whole thing, but like someone was saying that it's not all his fault.
No, it's not.
It's not his fault. Like you can't blame like him, that fan interference. Like it was an accident. Everybody that you thought it was a foul ball, everybody was reaching for it, and it happens. Fan interference has happened. It's just wrong place at the wrong time. And the Cubs choked. I'm sorry, they choked.
I want to question the interference as a whole. I mean, if you want to build, like when the Red Sox fans blamed Bill Buckner, Buckner made a bad play. This guy's listening to headphones, just watching a game. I don't know. I don't know if Moises Alou could have caught that ball.
I don't think that ball was going to be catchable regardless. I think it's I don't think that would have been such a big like a deal if it wasn't for the Cubs and like the curse of like the Billy Goat. I think if the Cubs would have not just choked in 69, if they wouldn't have choked in 84, it would have been a different story. But the fact that they were the best team and then like the league that year, they were steamrolling teams, and then the Bartman thing happens, and then all of a sudden it unravels.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. Mo, do you have a pick for this? 97 or 2003 Marlins?
I'm gonna say 2003. Was that Renteria's game-winning?
No, that was
97.
97, yeah.
Right. I would make Nick upset about that.
That 97 team.
That 97 team was
unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then they had to blow it all up. I think John Henry, the owner of the Red Sox, was actually the owner of the Marlins at the time. Yeah. And
they couldn't afford it or didn't want to pay. One of the two.
I think they couldn't. They don't draw. Florida's never really drawn for baseball fans, unfortunately. Yeah. All right, got a few more here.
Hey, you didn't ask me.
Oh, I thought who do you got, Justin? Who do you got? I apologize.
03 because they beat the Yankees.
Okay, fair enough. I do put if I'm going to say it, I do put that 97 team was stacked. Yeah. But it did go to 7 games. I got to say Josh Beckett in that Florida Yankee series proved that Josh Beckett was going to be something to be reckoned with in Major League Baseball. All right, you can only keep one for your team. This is a tough one. I got Pedro Martinez or Roger Clemens. Mo, let's start with you.
I'm going to have to say Pedro. I feel like I don't know Roger Clemens, but I just have this weird feeling about him, especially with the steroid stuff. And I don't know. I feel like I just heard weird things about him. Also, Pedro Martinez did play for the Phillies in
True.
2009, and he was part of almost beating the Yankees in the 2009 World Series. So
That's right. He actually
I
did.
wish I had
He
gone
pitched
to
in the World
that.
Series. Yeah. It was weird.
Yeah,
Pedro left the Red Sox. He went to the National League and first the Mets and then the Phillies.
I
Justin,
forgot about that.
yeah, it's forgettable. At
Yeah.
least for his time, in the World Series. But Justin, who you got?
I got Pedro, man. That's my boy, Pedro Martinez. 100%. In my opinion, he was he's the best. My opinion, he's the best starting pitcher of all time. In my opinion, so I got
Okay.
Pedro.
Nick, who you got?
I'll take Pedro. And you know what's it's solidified it when he went into Yankee Stadium and he had 40,000 people chanting, "Who's your daddy?" And he went in there and just rocked the Yankees. He said, "I'm your daddy." He said, "I'm your daddy." Right? He said, "I'm your daddy." So
right.
that's some swag. I'll take Pedro.
Well, I'll tell you this. I wasn't going to miss Pedro. I went to Pedro's Hall of Fame induction in 2015. I wouldn't have missed that for the world. I booked as soon as they announced it. I was on my computer booking a Fleabag motel because if you ever know anything about trying to book for Hall of Fame weekend, it's a freaking nightmare. Good luck trying to get anything decent. You're not going to get anything in Cooperstown. You get something around the area.
Right.
But I'm with that too. All right, last one. And here's a big one.
All right.
Hank Aaron or Babe Ruth?
Oh.
Who wants to go first on this? The Sultan of SWAT.
I'm gonna go first.
You want to go first, Justin?
No. I will like this.
Mo, you want to go?
Sure. I'm gonna.
Not an easy one.
I want to say Babe Ruth because I feel like when you talk about baseball and you want to talk about, the founding fathers, if you want to call it, I think you think of him. However, I feel like Hank Aaron set a lot of crossed a lot of barriers and helped a lot of African American ball players, start to be accepted into Major League Baseball. And it was a really difficult time too. Sometimes I still feel like it's a difficult situation, which seems silly, the time we're living in. But I feel like he not only had a great baseball career, but he also had a great human rights. I don't think he called on himself to do it. He just was part of something bigger than the game, and that's why I picked Hank Aaron.
I like that answer. I like that answer a lot. Nick, what do you got?
It's a tough one. It's a tough one.
It's not easy.
No,
that's blank versus blank is not the easy part of the show at all.
You never would have thought about putting those two in the same, questionnaire. This for him or him. It's hard.
Is Nick muted? Hold on.
Nick, I think you're muted, buddy. No, he's not muted. He's not muted. He's unmuted.
No.
No, we can't hear him. You're muted.
Nope.
Now he's muted. Click that again, buddy.
Well, just happy it's not me tonight.
Yeah,
I think I hear him. Oh, I hear him.
I hear him. Wait, well,
I'd probably go with.
Now he's muted again.
I'll probably have Babe Ruth because without. Am I muted?
No, you're not muted, buddy. We can hear you.
No, you're not. I think it's internet issues.
Am I good?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I can hear you.
Hold on.
Okay.
Now I'm muted.
No, we can still hear you.
I think we're on a delay at this point.
If you see this, well, you don't have anything there, so you're not muted.
All right, we're good.
Yeah, we can hear you.
We're good.
Yep.
Are we good? Are we back?
Yeah, I think we're good.
God dang it.
I gotta say, is anybody watching right now? They're like, I'll tell you one thing. One thing
All
I'm
right.
learning about.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah. Well, Nick fixes his.
Can you hear
his
me?
technical. Yeah, you're lagging there, but we can hear you, buddy.
No, nothing.
No, we can hear you. You're just lagging.
I don't know what's going on here. Give me a second.
Justin, who do you got?
I got Babe Ruth.
All right,
Babe
fair
Ruth,
enough.
100%. I mean, Hank Aaron, obviously, he's one of the greatest
It might
of all
be.
times, but I got Babe Ruth.
All right, I like it. I know we almost have Nick's answer, and the internet is just not allowing it. This is what happened last night. Oh, here we go.
For me, I think it's got to be Babe Ruth because without Babe Ruth, there is no. Without Babe Ruth, right? Okay. Without Babe Ruth, I don't think Hank Aaron is has this the superstardom that he does because there might not be like a record.
We know his answer is Babe Ruth, but we are on a lag. We apologize.
It happens, guys. It happens.
That did happen. That's why we had to do this is a 2-part series.
It's all good, man.
But I will just say I'm going with Mo. I'm going to agree. I go Hank Aaron. I do think, though, that I agree with you guys that Babe Ruth is, you don't have baseball being what it is today without him. So it's definitely tough. But I really do appreciate you guys coming on. This has been a lot of fun. We're going to try to do some more episodes like this. In the future, we're trying to do a lot of different things here on Let Freedom Ring. But Justin, Nick, Mo, I really appreciate you coming on. Everybody out there, keep your heads up, keep your masks on. Until next time, Let Freedom Ring.